What's up, everybody? I'm the BurningSkyCloud, and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. In the last episode, we spent our whole entire day with Adine. We went to go watch her perform, but talked to her, but we, she with that injury, there was no way that she was going to be able to perform properly, and therefore live with with that feeling of being a failure that would end up causing her to never want to perform ever again. And I'm so glad that we talked her out of it. But now that we are now that we got Adine finished, it's time to meet with Bryce and finish up this chapter so that we can get to the final chapter again. There you are, Scoy. Seems like you're the last one. I thought I was on time. Oh, you are. It's just that everyone always gets so excited about this that they come a little earlier. I thought it was strange how late you're holding this little get-together anyway. It's simple, really. Now we get this beach all to ourselves. Ooh la la. There's some strong feelings going in the air tonight. And I'm glad it's Bryce. Before you go and meet the others, I should probably warn you. What is it? There is someone here that you may not approve of. And who would that be? Maverick. I don't know, we kind of got along with him earlier, but this might be from a different time. Why is he here? All things considered, I think it's better for him to be here where I can watch him than if he was out there doing who knows what. You know what I mean? Besides, if I invited you and not him, I'm not sure how he would have reacted. He's always come to my barbecues before. Plus, maybe if I talk to him, I can find out what he's up to. Does he know that I'm here? Yes, and he assured me that he will keep the peace. Can you do the same? I'll try. Please. Hey, I won't make any promises I can't keep. Well, let's just hope there won't be any incidents. Alright, let's go and meet the others. As we walked a few paces, I saw some familiar faces. Usually there'd be more people here, but with everything else that's going on, some of the others at the department couldn't get any time off. Hey, everyone! Guess who's finally here? You may remember Zhang, the waiter at that bar. Ah! Didn't recognize him at first. Hello, Skoy. Hey! Hey, Sebastian. Hey, Skoy. What get-together were we doing? I don't remember. Hey, Skoy. Hey, Maverick. We're gonna be nice. For Bryce's sake. And our sake. Alright, let's get this barbecue started. I don't see a grill or anything here. And where's the firewood? You see that pile of stones over there? That's our grill. Heated rocks. Ooh. And firewood. Well, we don't need that. I see. So, who shall light the fire? I can make my own this time. Looks so different. It's so weird seeing Sebastian out of uniform. And Zhang. Very subtle, Sebastian. Why am I using... I'm supposed to be using a more fancier voice for Zhang. No need to be subtle about it. Zhang, your fire stung up the whole area last year, and it made everything taste weird. I didn't notice a difference. Yeah, because everything tastes the same to you, Maverick. I told you, I had the flu. I'm pretty sure you gave us more than just your fire. I think we got some of your spit in there too. Yes, because of the flu. Everything was congested, so it was hard to get anything out at all. You're not making this any better. Excuses, excuses. I'm just telling you how it is. Besides, it wasn't even my idea to light the fire. You were all like, oh, Zhang never lit the fire. He should do it. Don't blame me for getting what you wanted. Yeah, and we learned our lesson. Zhang, not even once. You wouldn't be complaining so much about it if it wasn't for the flu I had. Maybe I should light it again this time to prove you wrong. No thanks. Last year was bad enough. Why don't you do it, Bryce? I'm not sure if I'm filling up to the task. Well, you can always watch us use 2 pieces of wood and rub it together. Why doesn't Scoy do it? I like that idea. Yes, let Scoy do it. It seems we have a unanimous decision here. Go ahead, Scoy. Show us what you got. Suddenly, they all looked at me, clearly expecting me to light the fire for them. I don't want to disappoint you, but... yeah, we're not fire breathers. They were all still watching me, not moving or batting an eye, when suddenly, laughter erupted. I'm not laughing. Okay, guys, I get it. The joke's on me. Should have seen your face. Yeah, it was great. Don't pay any heed to them. They're always like this. Yeah, I noticed. Seriously though, who should light the fire? Somebody light the fire. You really want to do it? Don't you, Seb? Is it that obvious? Just go ahead then. We already agreed Zong is not doing it. Hey, I told you I could prove you wrong this time. Yeah, let's not ruin our barbecue 2 years in a row. Maybe next year then. I don't feel up for it this year. And with Maverick's aim, he probably shouldn't either. I'd rather not risk anything. I could hit you at any time. Sure, but we just want to have a barbecue, not set the whole beach on fire. It is not even possible to set a beach on fire. I suppose anything's possible. Besides, Sebastian's fire always makes the food so crisp and smoky. I like that. Any objections? Nope. Me neither. Master of Ceremony, would you light the fire, please? It's not an easy job, but someone's got to do it. Sebastian went up to the small bed of stones that they had prepared. Since his back was turned towards me, I couldn't exactly see what he did, but a few seconds later, a fire started burning among the stones. There we go. Well done, Sebastian. My pleasure. Alright, everyone, pick your poison. What does that mean? Just to get you up to speed, Skoy, we've got pretty much everything here you could ask for. Of course, we will have all varieties of meat, but we also have some vegetables and cheese if you're not into that sort of thing. We even got some of the algae stuff we usually bring for Naomi, one of the girls at the department, but she couldn't come tonight. Just help yourself and throw it on the fire. Sebastian always gets some veggies with his meat, whereas Zhang goes totally crazy over the cheese stuff. Barbecues are the best, especially when they're hamburgers and hot dogs. I think I mentioned that before somewhere, but I don't remember where. I think maybe in a story I wrote. I do have a memory that's kind of there, but I don't remember. I can't locate the source. Now that I think about it, maybe it was just that damn cheese that made everything so bad last time. Could be. Maybe the cheese was the only good thing. Oh, shut up, or else I'll force feed you some of it. No thanks. Keep your cheese to yourself, please. Where was I? Oh, right. I go for the meat, personally. As I said, the algae is normally for Naomi. She really likes this stuff, but she's one of the water kinds, so that's not a surprise. I tried it myself once. Not really my kind of thing, but feel free to take some if you want to. And then there's Maverick. He just eats whatever he can get into his muzzle. A few years ago, a sandstone managed to hide between some slabs of meat he got. He didn't even notice and just kept on munching. Oh, wonder how that tasted. Yeah, but that was with Bryce's cooking, so I couldn't tell the difference. Wouldn't you be able to tell? I mean, crunchy sandy rock? Why you? After all of us had made our selection and put it on the fire, we sat down in a circle around it. Of course, Bryce made sure that Maverick and I were not sitting next to each other. So Bryce, how's that stint with Emra going for you? Ah, this is probably after he got reassigned to protecting Emra. It's weird. I'm not even really doing anything. I just have to follow her around and stand guard in her office. But what's worse, I think I found out why she wanted me to do the whole thing in the first place. Oh, do enlighten us. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Now you definitely have to say it. Alright. The real reason why she wants me to be around her so much is that she totally has the hots for me. Wait, really? One moment. Oh, come on. Nah, I can't see her being into Sebastian. Seriously? You wish. You all know what she's like in public, right? But as soon as it's only us two in the room, she's a totally different person. It's unreal. I mean, I believe that she's different in private, but still. Of course, Bryce. When you make up a story, just going out with a high-ranking politician isn't enough. Obviously, she can't resist your manly allure. But it's true. I'm not even interested in her. For one, she isn't really my type. And regardless if it's her public or private persona, her personality really sucks. What was that about sucking? Whoa. Guy night. So I totally didn't see that coming with Emerald. Huh. Didn't think a dragon of her stature would be into Bryce. But then again, you know, I can kind of see it. Oh, shut up. If no one wants to believe me, I'll just stop before I get to the really bad stuff. I'm kind of curious. I can actually confirm that she does act like a totally different person when she doesn't think she's being watched by the general public. Interesting. Yeah, because we met her once. Just her and I, without anyone else around. Okay, Bryce. Okay, Bryce. Why don't you tell us more? What exactly does she like about you? What's not to like about me? We get it, Bryce. Let's just change the subject. It's true! I swear! Then give us some details. What you like in private. It all started innocently enough, but as I told you, when we were alone, she started to get kind of weird after a while. She wasn't even remotely subtle about it either. Once, even the words cavity search came up. From her, mind you, not me. Oh, come on. I can't even listen to this anymore. And then later, she was suddenly like, oh, my back is so stiff. Would you mind giving me a massage? You look like you have the proper strength to give me a good one. It's like she's not even trying to hide it. Did you give it to her? Of course not. I told her I'm no good with massages. That's the truth. Well, normally in a normal circumstance, if someone was oblivious to her flirting, I'd say something entirely different. But considering that Bryce has no interest in her, I can let it slide. Who would have thought? Do you really believe him, Seb? I'm not judging, just listening. Emra wanted you to give her a massage hardly constitutes her having the hots for you, though. I'm not even done yet. Well, I'm done with this. Earlier today, she told me how nice it would be for a child to grow up with 2 leaders for parents. Actually, I don't think even Bryce could have come up with that one on his own. I'm not buying it. Hey, at least you believe me, right, Skoy? I do. I can totally picture Emra acting like that. See? I told you, if Skoy believes it, it must be true. Can't argue with that logic. Maybe it's just the alcohol talking. I didn't even have anything yet. Sure, but with as much as you drink, your blood is like at least 10% beer by now. I bet you can't even get it completely sober anymore. Anyway, what do you think I should do about her? Nothing, because you made up the whole thing in the first place. If I don't do anything, I'll probably end up having to marry her or something. Wouldn't that be something? I wonder how that would work. I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. And at that point, your story would actually be credible. Why don't you just tell her to stop? It's not that easy, considering our positions. Even though I'm the chief, there's nothing I can do to prevent her from pulling me off the case and making me into her personal bodyguard. If I tell her off too strongly, she could totally make my professional life a nightmare. And she totally would. I see. So this is a situation that requires careful deliberation and subtlety. Not exactly your strong suits, Bryce. That's why I'm asking you a lot. Not that you're much better, though. Maybe you should stop. Maybe you should play along for a while just to see what happens. And then, once the time is right, you strike. And strike refers to what exactly? I'm not going to indulge her in any way, shape, or form. This is the kind of situation that's going to cause a huge uproar if I include it in my memoir. Who's going to read your memoir anyway? Well, at least I know one Well, I know at least one person. Skoy, what do you think I should do? I would tell her how you really feel. I mean, honesty is the best policy in this situation. Are you sure? Well, if you string her along, that would be pretty dishonest, and she might be even more angry when she finds out the truth than if you had just told her up front. Good point. That kind of makes me curious, though. How does dating work in this world, considering there are so many sentient species around here? Is dating between different species encouraged? Maybe that's why Emma is so interested. Is there ever any crossbreeding? I'm sure these questions will go over well in this group. Crossbreeding? That's funny. Well, there isn't any crossbreeding. It doesn't work like that. Besides, I thought you were into biology. Shouldn't you already know where hatchlings come from? You are a completely different life form from what I've seen before, so I didn't want to make any exceptions. There are many interspecies couples, though. And what happens if those couples want to have a child? There are plenty of options, though usually it's either adoption or a child where only one of the parents is biologically related. That's that's quite a system. Emra totally wants my children, though. Don't you want to be a father? Heck no. I'm not ready for that. I wouldn't even know what to do with a hatchling. I'd probably end up breaking his neck by accident or something like that. What about you, Skoy? What about me? Are you having the hots for someone here, as Bryce would put it? To be honest, I had no idea how that kind of relationship would be viewed where I come from. Since we only have one sentient species, I'm not sure what sort of social norms would develop if that changed. Technically speaking, you dating one of us is no different than Emra dating Sebastian, for example. Hey, I'm not getting between the beautiful thing Emra and Bryce have going on. Sebastian, you are funny. If you ask me, you can do whatever you like as long as you're here. Knock yourself out. Well, I've seen Skoy hang out with a certain yellow flyer a few times. Wink. Yo, you spying on me, Sebastian? Is it really spying if you're out in public view? And I just happen to be in the vicinity at the time? Darn you, Sebastian. You really know how to play your words right. I only know of one yellow flyer around here, and she usually delivers my pizza. I'm suddenly giddy. I'm giddy with excitement. That's the one. I guess that means you're into girls then. I mean, if I can tell Bryce would totally be into me if it came up in that way. You got me there. I like her. Not bad, Skoy. Excitement! The more important question is, does she like you back? I think so. You know, I just realized that this music's actually fit in this moment. Guess you're making the most of your time here, huh? By the way, I think the food should be ready now. Good catch. Slowly, everyone shuffled towards the fire, which by now had become nothing more than an eerily glowing pile that illuminated the area. One by one, everyone took their hot food from the stone bed and placed it onto the provided paper plates and bowls. When it was my turn, I hesitated, since I could still feel the heat radiating from the stones. Something the matter? I think this might be too hot for me to handle. Too hot? Hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. Those stones need to be put on ice. Right. No skills. Let me get that for you. There you go. I'm actually enjoying this bit of an episode. I'm actually enjoying this episode that I'm recording right now. Thanks. We resumed our positions in a circle around the glowing stones, and I waited for my meal to cool down while the others started eating. Yep, crisp and smoky. Good job, Sebastian. Yeah, good job, Sebastian. Why did that first one come out weird? Oh, I could go for some smoky meat right now. That'd taste delicious. Don't mention it. Really, it's good. I'm still not sure how you can eat that cheese stuff, Zhang. Are you going to make fun of my food choices again? To be fair, we make fun of everyone and everything here. Hey, it's what guys do, right? I don't mind the cheese. You wouldn't mind eating the whole bed of stones and everything on it as well. At least I try something different every once in a while. I do too. I think there are at least 5 different kinds of meat this time around. Case in point. The food remaining on the stone slowly disappeared as everyone got their additional helpings. Soon, even the last piece was gone, and silence started to set in as the banter slowly died down. I think it's time for me to leave. What, already? Hey, the baby you consider can only stay so long. Oh well. Yeah, I should also be heading off. You know I'm starting early tomorrow. Well, I guess we all got what we came for. What about you, Maverick? Looks like this party is over anyway. Don't you all get lost in the dark then? Of course. And until next year. Thanks for inviting me, Bryce. I suppose I should be heading off as well. Oh, no you don't. What are you talking about? Well, they all live in the vicinity, but your apartment is on the other side of town. I'm not letting you go home alone at this hour. Reza has always operated during the night, and he may just be waiting for an opportunity like this. What do you want me to do then? You can sleep over at my place. If you insist. Damn, now everyone left without cleaning up. At least you're still here to help me. Of course. We started to clean up together, but with the amount of trash left by 5 people, it was clear it would take a while. Hey, do you want to know where I got these scars? I bet you're curious. Not if you are uncomfortable with telling me. It's no trouble. Gotta pass the time somehow. At least they make me look extra intimidated at my job. No one's going to mess with the big, rugged chief of police. Yeah, the scars are what do it. The scars add to the intimidation of big, burly, bulky police chiefs. You'd probably think I got them from some crazy near-death case, but that's only true for one of them. The other was a completely different story. Back when I was a kid, some of my friends and I always used to play outside and go adventuring together. We could go anywhere, as long as it was close enough to town. Woods, mountains, beaches, we'd love to explore every one of them. We got fairly familiar with our surroundings. Then, one day, we heard from someone that there was a system of caves nearby. Caves! That was something completely new to us. Of course, we went there as soon as we could. We were all very excited. It wasn't a big cave system, not big enough to get lost in, but we still had so much fun that day. So much, in fact, that I wanted to go back there right away. The next day, I called up a few friends, but they had a longer school day than I did. Instead of waiting for them, I decided to go alone. Turns out, going out exploring on my own was a little less exciting than doing so with friends. But I still had a pretty good time, and just walking through the entire underground system was quite an experience. Plus, since I was alone, I could take the time to explore every last nook and cranny that I wanted to. That's always a bonus. Maybe that was my mistake. When I was in one of the remote corners, the ground suddenly gave way and I fell about 5 meters into the cave below. Luckily, I didn't get any serious injuries from the fall, but as I looked for another exit, an ominous realization set in. This cave had no entry or exit except the one I came in. There were a few holes, but I could never fit through any of them, or make them bigger in any way. Even if I could, I didn't know where they'd lead. In the end, I had to try and climb out on my own. But as you can imagine, I wasn't exactly the best climber in town. Even so, I still got about halfway before I lost my grip and fell down again, cutting my muzzle on the edge of a rock in the process. That explains it. It bled pretty badly, but at least I knew to put pressure on the wound. I couldn't try to climb out again, however, so I waited. Poor Bryce. It took several hours for anyone to even notice that I was missing. I must have been there for about 4 or 5 hours, all alone, before I heard footsteps above and a search party found me. At least it wasn't the next two numbers. Screw those numbers. Long story short, it turned out that besides the cave system we knew about, there was a much larger one right underneath. Those caves can only be entered with a guide now. And I got this lovely reminder of the experience on my muzzle. I had plenty of time to think while I was down there, and later in life I often returned to that experience. At first, it made me want to get stronger, but I realized that strength alone wouldn't have saved me. Our kind would probably never be able to climb much at all, but I can at least try to better myself. I guess the whole experience also kind of explains why I'm building those stupid wooden models now. I see. That explains quite a lot. Feeling so helpless while I waited down there, it also made me realize I wanted to help others. Having been saved by the police sure did a lot to make me want to follow the same path. Turns out, I was good enough to even become chief. That's a good inspiration right there, Bryce. It always takes a situation like that for inspiration to strike. And after that, you got your path set. Guess that's all of the trash. Thanks for the help. I suppose I'll have to tell you about the second scar some other time. Let's head back now, shall we? Sure. Looks like it's already later than I thought. We better head to sleep soon. You can take the couch and I'll just sleep on the floor or something. Don't you have a bed? Oh, this is just a temporary arrangement. I wanted to be closer to work and the new apartment wasn't ready yet, so I have to stay here for a while. I see. With all this armor, I'll barely even feel anything, so it doesn't matter where I sleep. There's no need for you to sleep on the floor. What do you mean? The couch is big enough for both of us. It is, but I didn't know if you... Well, if you say so. Yo! There's your bed, your highness. I'll take care of the light. There we go. I wonder what it's like to sleep next to a dragon. Probably very warm, but very also scaly and rough. Are you even going to sleep in those clothes of yours? It looks kinda uncomfortable. Interesting. We usually have a separate set of clothing to wear during the night, or we just take off a few layers. I see. Well, it's not like I could take a layer off, except this little blanket here. Heh. Is it okay for you to sleep like this? Yeah. Well, good night then. Good night, Bryce. Hope, superstition. Well, here we are, finally back at Chapter 5. I really like this. That was a good moment with Bryce and the others. But for the time being, this is where I'm going to leave the episode. Next episode, I don't know how this is going to go down. So I'm hoping that I managed to save Sebastian this time. Poor guy didn't deserve what he got. Reza's too trigger happy with that gun of his. But I'm really hoping that I get the chance to go with Adine to the fireworks show this time. I hope that it paid off in the end. But in the meanwhile, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe to see more in the future. I'll catch you later.